Great, and welcome to the Truth in Telecom section with Johnny. Johnny, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. So we have
Lo-
quite a lot to discuss in this podcast.
Yeah, too much for one podcast. We may
Oh
have to
yeah,
do five or
no.
six. I mean,
So
you look.
let's kick off on the political messaging because we've been raising that as an issue when we had the Bill's complaint. That was highlighted in there with very specific evidence. And then we've seen some other posts from others around some of the issues with political
Well,
messaging.
not a post, a full story
Well, full
in
story,
real
yeah.
clear policy
Yeah.
by a congressman who almost won the governorship of Michigan. So
Yeah.
we're talking about a very serious individual who calls himself a moderate Democrat, which is great. That's fine. And I found the timing of his story and Bill's complaint really, really interesting, as because obviously Tata and Tata's lawyers had all the information from Bill prior, and they know who the operator is, and they know who the names are of people at Cinch and what have you, and other companies that are. And the story, either his staff didn't do their homework, because if you just Google the campaign registry and look at news, you'll see, Rick's press releases, and so it's amazing. It's almost like a hit job on Aegis.
Yes.
At the end of the day, and Aegis,
Correct.
works hand in hand with the management team at Soren and Stefan at the campaign registry. They're all for one, one for all. So this is really did not see this one coming.
No.
So
Not at all.
what say you, oh great one?
There's a lot of shit slinging taking place. It's like he's conservative, he's liberal. It doesn't matter. It's all about neutrality in the monopolies. And I know I keep rambling on about the need for a code of conduct, but when you have a monopoly, they have to be neutral. They should be not doing any side deals. They should be not signing NDAs with political organizations. They have to be seen to be squeaky clean and neutral. For
he brings up the foreign ownership, which I find amazing.
Yeah.
That Rick has been screaming.
Yeah.
He brings up that as an issue, and now obviously you have Tata that has taken over.
Yeah.
And one quick good news I heard this morning. I heard, not sure if it's 100% true, that Tata paid out 20% of people's salaries, or is going to pay out 20% of people's salaries as a bonus to everybody at Calera. So that's good news.
Exactly.
I think for the people of Calera, and they're putting a good forth. I expect them to do the right thing. I expect them to take a look at Bill's complaint, especially on who framed Bill.
Yes.
Who framed Roger Rabbit? Tata. And if those people are still going to be around, well, then we're still going to be screaming.
Yeah.
So let's see what Tata does. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Are they going to sell it? I don't know. That letter that came out last night that you got doesn't look like they're selling anything.
No.
It looks like they're basically saying, we're Tata, we're a $150 billion company, and you're not. And we're going to do what we want, which quite frankly they can. And we talked about Uniphonic coming into the market. We haven't talked about SoftBank and BTS, which I think is another unique thing that I've been looking into. And SoftBank bailed out of Cinch. Sold all their shares in Cinch. Now and I know BTS really well. I go back years with those guys. When they first came out, their first calling card, I went to the party with them. And you talk about organized, smart guys from Spain. These guys are the only only carrier that did not get enticed by giving more value. Like, they didn't get caught up in the fraud of calling cards. Like, we were all jealous. Like, you don't have to give 50 minutes to Jamaica and people are still selling your product. And it's like, and I was like, how do you guys do it? I was like, how are you guys doing it? And they're just, really organized, really smart. Their integrity is off the chart. So, I mean, but BTS and SoftBank, they call it S and BTS. I'm not really sure why they don't use the word SoftBank, but BTS is another great company. You've got them. You've got Tata. You've got Unifonica.
Uniphonic,
They're Uniphonic. I'm Italian, so I like to use the at the end. So it's a New York thing. And then you've got the different companies out there. So I think that the industry and CPAS M&A needs to get squeezed in to your TAD summit. Although the big news about Bill Peters not coming in,
I
and
know,
and
yeah, no,
and
it is great that Bill's
and
joining
wait
us.
till he lays out the RSUs. I mean, if you ever see an RSU anywhere, run and short the company.
Yes,
But yeah, let's
restricted
get back
stock
onto the
units.
political stuff, Alan. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
here's a guy who's basically saying MAGA controls the political vetting.
I know.
And then here's evidence in Bill's or allegations or whatever. I mean, I believe Bill. I know Bill. I
Yeah.
watched all this stuff happen. So to the contrary, and
Yes.
obviously the entire team at Campaign Registry is foreign, and there's some implications in the lawsuit.
Yes.
In-kind contributions.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And where is everybody? I'm waiting for Matt Gaetz and AOC to fly in and start fighting in a room. Where are they? Where is everybody? You know,
Well,
I mean,
they've got so many battles to fight, and this one, I just look at it as there's some mudslinging happening, because it comes back to I don't care about what campaign contributions chairman or ex-chairman from Aegis Mobile or that. The key is those, especially from the top, from TCR, it has to be seen to be neutral. The processes must be neutral. It can't be doing anything with any political organization.
not seen. It has to be neutral, and the management at the Campaign Registry is not neutral.
No,
I mean they're very progressive and very proud about it, and like Rick said, it needs to be independently run with guys with security clearances, and obviously the biggest story to me was Randy Warshaw, which I'm excited about, coming out. The guy built Real Networks, coming out and basically unraveling the whole thing on the Comms Risk show, and they let it fly like, oh yeah, no big deal. So basically, every brand is now at risk. You can be AT, you can be, you can be Bank of America, you could be Subway, you could be whoever you want to be.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I guess we'll tackle some of that stuff at the Cameo show that you're doing on Wednesday. But there's just so much stuff here.
I know, but it was great that Randy endorsed what we said in the TCR trilogy. It just shows.
He called it out at the MEF show a few months ago too. I knew, but I mean, but he did it in a way where it's kind of hard to understand him. He's
a
so
smart guy.
politically really smart guy. But it's pretty. He needs to lay it out a little bit more simply. Simply lay it out.
Oh yeah. Well, I commented. I was like, Randy's endorsed what we've said at the TCR trilogy.
Yeah.
So it's like, guys,
he called it out first.
Yeah.
They weren't too happy at an MEF show. I think Dario Betty went and scurried everybody off stage or something. Love Dario. But yeah, I mean, what else is there? What else? Where do you want to go with this? You got Bill coming to talking at the show.
Bill's going to be talking at TAD Summit, and he's going to be looking at, well, what is the cost of an ATP SMS? Because I struggle with that. I've commented several times. He's also going to be talking about CPAS and generally accepted accounting principles. So I think he doesn't have a lot of time, and this is a topic he could speak for days, if not weeks on. But I think it's going to help the TAD Summit audience really understand some of the tricks that are happening around.
Yeah, and considering he's no longer in the industry, I mean, nobody would talk to him. I mean,
that was terrible.
Storm Shaft was out bad mouthing him and saying, "Oh, he's got a defense attorney," and stuff like that. And
well, given he was trained,
it's not going to be good when he lays it out.
No,
because I know Cinch had some issues with their financials and the way they work their books, and Willio's a whole nother ballgame. I mean, I just made those comments yesterday and got thousands of impressions.
I know, that was amazing.
I thought I was shadow banned. I guess not.
No, clearly that shows when you choose the right topic, it'll accelerate.
Yeah, everybody wants to know about Twilio,
but it's all laid out in the financials. It's not like there's some hidden thing taking place here.
Oh, there's some stuff in the financials that Bill's going to pull out with the COGS and the margins. Yeah. And you look, they're fundamentally. I mean, look, they built a great company, but how do you? I mean, at least Dario from Calera stepped down a year ago and said, "Oh, this company got too big for me. I'm going to move on or whatever," and they never replaced him. But how does the CEO from Twilio look people straight in the face? I mean, you lost $70 billion of market cap. I mean, you talk about the institutional investors in Twilio; they're not going anywhere.
No,
I mean, these guys bought shares at 300, 350, 250. where are they going? I mean, obviously, I don't think Twilio's going anywhere, and I responded to that as well. They got too much cash, and they're
Exactly.
just getting set up with the monopoly. But it's interesting to see what Tata has to say about it now, because
Well, oh,
because
yeah.
whoever controls the brand
Yes, that's
controls the
right.
game,
That's
and
right. Yes, it's
Tata with that
independent,
letter.
but they say TCR is independent, yet the communication that was forwarded to me from a brand enterprise, they were mixing the brands. So
Yeah, you got to
Carriera was
verify
in
the
there.
authenticity of it, because it's pretty
Yes.
nuts.
Well, yeah.
Are
Well, I immediately, went to
you sure Twilio didn't send it to you?
maybe and if
know,
it is, I will highlight that.
AI generated whatever. I'd love to see another one of those, or see who else has
Exactly,
got it, because that's
exactly.
basically Tata saying, "Hey, we're Tata. We're
Yeah,
$150 billion. We'll buy you all, sell you all. We'll do what we want." Now, Cineverse, they're owned by Carlyle. They're a
yeah,
$500 billion fund, so
yeah.
I think they can go toe to toe with Tata if they wanted to. They just don't
Exactly.
really care about Cineverse anymore, and just want to care about how much more money they
Yeah,
can get
but
out
I
of
mean, just
Twilio.
back to the security podcast part of the podcast when they were talking about IPX. Who's behind IPX? Cineverse.
100%, and
You know?
most connected company in the world.
Yeah,
And
exactly. But anyway, we're jumping
we're
around.
going
But
to
just
get into
quickly
that
back
one.
to the Tata note. If you're a brand that's doing A2P messaging and you receive that note, please, you just ping me. I mean, all my contact details are there. You can contact me through email or LinkedIn to let me know. Because I agree. I saw that and I was incredulous. I then pinged it immediately to two CSPs. One blew up and was like on the ceiling for, I don't know, most probably all last night, and still on the ceiling
Yeah.
now. The other was like, oh, and I can see they've huddled internally to work out what's going on there. But it seemed authentic. It came from an organization that I know. So I was like, well, why would they do that? So I put it out there. But we need more corroboration before we take that as solid evidence.
And what's also interesting, that I had some notes on somebody, in India, they forced everything on the blockchain,
Yes.
right? So India basically got up and said, look, we're cutting all A2P
Yes.
messaging off until you figure it out. There was a month.
Yeah.
They basically said, no, you're doing this.
Exactly.
So, there's a solution we were talking about the blockchain here in the
Yes.
US, but nobody talking about it because, again, the amount of money that's being made.
Exactly, through the messaging monopolies.
So I don't know. I don't know what Tata. I'm just hoping Tata does the right thing, like they did for their employees, or was that just covering up the RSUs that they couldn't qualify? We don't really know, but I'm excited for the employees. I'm excited for the employees of Calera.
Yep.
Going forward, and
Yep.
we never even talked about the embargo traffic and stuff, which now is no longer an issue.
Well,
I'll tell you a quick story.
Yeah, I mean, it was an issue while they were New York Stock Exchange listed, but as they're not, it doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to matter to CFIUS, if CFIUS is actually going to look at this, or what's going to happen, or if we're going to have more political people coming in. Because, look, a politician in a nonprofit can basically send as many messages as they want to anybody.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So they have the power. Are they going to just look the other way and let whoever run it? Because nobody's coming except this Mark Schauer guy.
Yes.
And he's got it. And look, he makes some really good points. How do you argue with the guy? The guy's a congressman. Former congressman. Guy ran for governor.
Yep. No, absolutely. But
when are they going to investigate it?
I've pinged several CEOs of companies that run political campaign messaging and saying, look.
Some guy told me they sent the story to Fox and they sent it back. I guess Fox doesn't want to play like another $1 billion for any election stuff. It was pretty funny. It's like, yeah, they sent it back to me. Like, no, we're not interested. In that story.
At least they got a response.
On both sides of the fence. But why should people in their political views have their fingers on anything that is important as something being neutral?
Exactly.
Right?
The entity needs to be neutral. The processes around it need to be clear, open, and demonstrate neutrality. And that's not what's happening at the moment.
Well, the evidence that Bill put in the complaint and the evidence that they have with recordings points to the complete opposite of what this Mr. Schauer said, which basically tells me, because they had the information, there's more to this story. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but and he's not responding. How do you not respond to? Maybe he's reading the complaint. I mean, there's got to be attention put on the campaign registry,
Yeah.
and it needs to be independently spun off. But
Yep.
from that letter
Exactly.
you got from Tata, looks like they're going to take the campaign registry. They're going to cut out who they want to cut out, and they're going to flex their chest. And you know what? The way I see it right now, my last year, I think they're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Because who's going to scream? Half
Yeah.
the companies in this industry are just worrying about not getting caught for what they've done wrong for the last 2 years. They're all hiding. I've been calling out a couple of companies like, oh no, please don't mention us.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely exciting.
Yes.
But
I mean, it's a little frustrating, but all we can do
it's
is
very
keep
frustrating, but something
pushing.
has to happen now.
Exactly. Because the evidence
Yeah.
keeps mounting step by step by step.
Yeah. I mean,
And it'll get to a point whereby somebody of note, whether it's, FCC, FTC, and it'll get to a point where it can no longer be ignored. It's
but
just,
really,
for us,
it comes
it's
down
frustrating.
for you and me in the conversation we had earlier, and the reason why me and you were here together, outside of helping innovators,
Yeah.
is spam.
Yeah.
Stopping spam.
That's it. That's the
What
bottom
is this
line.
thing doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
We're going to stop spam? Are we going to let this go robocall world,
Ah,
where they just charge you $1 billion? Is it $1 billion to $3 billion a month on your bill? Is this going to be something that we're going to do here? What about people? What about grandma? What about all these people getting defrauded? My neighbor got his information. He clicked on a text, and his bank account, and he's like, "What's going on?" It's like, I told you not to click.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But what do you got? So you have to have marketing telling people not to click. What do people know?
Yeah.
What are the
Exactly.
carriers doing? What are they doing
Yeah.
on this? So
Oh,
you got to keep screaming, my friend.
yeah. We will. 'Cause
And I think
spam
we should. Anybody
has to
out there
stop.
have any media friends or anything, or
Oh, that's a good
anybody
point, actually.
listening?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
how about just dropping a note to somebody?
Yeah.
Let's get a fist fight in here going with I like to see AOC and Matt Gaetz in the ring, right? Or
No,
whatever.
that just
Or
disturbs
who?
me. Okay.
That Marjorie Taylor Greene lady and AOC.
Yeah.
AOC's big here. She's in New York, so they love
Oh,
her,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Queens and stuff where
Yeah. Yeah. But
I used to my
no,
stopping
no
grounds.
fighting in cages or anything like that. We'll leave that to the billionaires. Okay.
Yeah,
When
but
the
they
politicians are down to that, then it's a bad situation.
yeah. But Bill Peters showing up
Yep. I'm
and
happy. That's
laying
great.
things out. That's going to
Yep.
be really interesting.
Yeah. No, that I think is, for a lot of the people who attend TED Summit, it's going to have some really good insights to help them in running their businesses and for the broader industry as well. Because the problem is most of the book clubs keep, saying the messages of the big vendors, distracting people from the real issues that are facing,
Yeah.
especially here in North America, as you put it. It's spam. We need to stop spam. There is no
Needs to be
reason why
stopped.
it's as bad as it is. It can be stopped. And other countries have shown how it can be stopped. And we've just got to keep pushing for that.
Well, I think that's our next battle on that.
Yeah.
And if we can get some of these other programs and shows that are now talking out, and guys like Randy and looking at it, and
Yeah.
people paying attention, and Cameo taking a lead on what they're trying to do, but everybody else is still hiding.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the same
Cameo has
people
such
that
a-
wouldn't respond to Bill Peters when he sent their resume out.
I
I'm
know.
like, really, guys?
Yeah.
The best
No,
CFO in the
it's
industry. And I love seeing when they have problems doing their books.
You
You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
just a little
That's it.
vindictive
But I think,
punch.
but Cameo has an ebook that I think is essential reading for all brands and enterprises wanting to do A2P SMS or currently doing A2P 10 DLC. And
Yeah, I mean, they
all
could
the
probably
tricks and
they can go
tips.
down to curing cancer now at this point after trying to figure out the mess that they've created here.
Yeah.
Which really now I see you got some of these TCPA defending lawyers following you, which is really interesting because
Yes.
the carriers have opened it up for all these companies to
Yes.
be sued for TCPA, especially with
Yes.
the new ruling on the one text and the do not text list. And
Exactly.
they're just going to sit back there and say, "Oh no, it's not us, it's them. It's not." But at the end of the day, they can stop it.
Yes.
But where are they? I don't know.
There's money. There's money there. It's as simple as that.
Tata knows everything. So let's see. I mean, they took over yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Give them some time. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But again, if you receive that note from the TCR let me know, send me a copy so that we can corroborate, because I've received it from one source and it seemed pucker. And when I talked to two CSPs, they hadn't seen it, and one was like, oh, concerned, and the other just hit the ceiling, as I mentioned. So for them, it's believable. So as a result, until we get some more corroboration, we have to take it with advisement. But
or it could be some of the guys that just starting a whole new all boys network, and here, sign up here, give us your information, you're with us, they're with them, and they start beating up on little companies like they've done. And what do they do? They just take it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But Tata, we're waiting. Do the right thing here.
Exactly.
You got a complaint in your hands. I'd like to see you respond to that.
That would be good to see that resolved.
And find out who framed Roger Rabbit, please, because we know. I know who framed him.
The evidence is there.
How are they still working there? So at the end of the day, so I don't know. Tata's. I did business with a lot of Indians, and they're brilliantly smart, natural traders. They always know when they have leverage or not leverage. So they're taking this thing over, and look, big brand, big name, big credibility. I don't think Ratan Tata wants frame job guys.
No, exactly.
In their company.
Yeah, but
they did get rid of the CEO of Calera. They put him on a vote.
Well, he was,
and now they've got the new guy running it, Mario Carbone. I've heard from Robert Rose, a good friend of mine, and Dario Betti. People have a lot of good things to say about him. He joined Calera a year ago. So they got the right guy, and they're going to be a player. And Tata still, they don't have their traffic runs off a leased platform. I don't know if they know that. You'll find out.
Yeah.
And the embargo traffic, I mean, those are all ex-Tintech guys. Ex-Tintech guys, Tintech University in the house, all houses, they're everywhere. All that traffic ran through them. No, it's coming from California. They put it on. It's not coming from California. It's going into
the labeling.
Areas.
Exactly, to
so,
avoid.
Tintech University is everywhere.
Oh yes, I mean it's amazing how many companies you meet, and then you look at
successful.
Successful
companies.
Look at
GTC.
Exactly.
GTC actually did that report that you mentioned, the report on the rock stars, and so maybe they'll put that out.
Super pissed.
Super effing pissed. And we're going to do another registry. What happened with that? So it's a lot of amazing talent in the industry. Let's see how this gets confirmed. And can somebody start calling Randy Warshaw and say, Randy, can you spell it out a little bit more simply for people? You know what I mean?
But at least Randy's confirming it. When you have somebody of that level of credibility, it shows this isn't rambling.
Yeah. Well, they know. I've talked to guys at Spinner, so write your name on a piece of paper. But they're jumping on the opportunity, and who knows? They're hush hush and what's going on behind the scenes. But look, Twilio, financially, I mean, look, numbers and math is math. They're not going anywhere, but math is math. I mean, all these companies
to be laid out, and Bill's going to do that.
So you got Tata, you got Uniphonic, you got SoftBank and BTS, you've got the deal with Ericsson and Vonage, you've got Infobit. Where are they? I mean, they're an amazing company. They got amazing assets. They're not pissed off by not getting blocked out of the U.S. I mean, really, Infobit? I mean, I was listening to one guy who was an expert from the CPAS AA acceleration. He's like, oh, well, who is this Infobip? I'm like, you're an expert on CPAS and you don't know who Infobip is? I mean, really?
Never be underestimated about the lack of understanding of the messaging business, because it's so hidden. There is so much history. And you can trace this back to the premium SMS and all the dodgy stuff that took place during those crazy period where you're getting random charges on your bill because you happen to, sort of download a game.
And I love how you bring up what Google's doing with RCS, and just
they have all your messages.
They have all your messages. That's it. What can they do with it?
And they're incremental, because it's like, oh yeah, we'll run RCS for you, and then they'll come and say, well, look, we're running RCS for you at this charge. We could run all your messaging. It's going to be so much easier for you, and we'll do all the analytics, and you'll see all these benefits, and we'll wrap it up with our cloud offer. And then all of a sudden, the carrier's going, this is great, I'm saving money, and everything is.
Well, they also paid the carriers. I don't know if you know how much money Google has paid the operators in the U.S. I know the operators are lobbying Apple to do something, but
they'll stay in their silo.
I don't see that.
They don't want to get messed up with all that. They'll stay within silo. It's like the iMessage API. It keeps being promised. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it will remain a promise because they want to deliver a great experience. And
Yeah.
when you've got advertising being thrown at you left, right, and center, that isn't a great experience. You know,
Yeah.
in fact, Dean Bubley was talking about, he was at a show where a lot of train companies were at, and it's just such a mess across messaging, RCS. They're happy to invest in their own app because it delivers an experience they can control without all the advertising crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a fun week, a surprising week in terms of the political stuff that came out, that message that came out from possibly Tata. So let's see what next week brings.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. I forgot. So we're going to be doing a special with Cameo with Tim McLean, and it'll be running through because he's putting together a big, sort of guide on how to navigate this whole situation as a brand trying to communicate with your customers. So he's doing a lot of work there, and I think it's good for the industry. People need help and support. They can't not communicate with their customers. So I think
And
Tim's trying to
ages,
just
can
help.
somebody tell ages to stand up and stand up for themselves? I mean, really?
Yeah.
How do you not respond?
Well, because then you endorse what's being said as soon as you respond. That's why just ignore it.
I don't
It'll
know.
go
Somebody,
away.
I
But
don't
anyway,
look at it that way.
we'll
Anyhow,
see everybody on Wednesday for a special with Cameo, and then we'll have our regular Friday where we'll get to rant and rave about. I hate to think what's going to come next week. Things are changing
I don't
so
know.
fast at the
I didn't
moment.
see this one coming.
No.
We'll see.
Yeah. You take care, Johnny. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, kiddo.